I would love a foreword from Gustave Flaubert. Or would I? I don't know. I say Gustave Flaubert. White, because it's an homage to the great essay collection, The White Album by Joan Didion. Originally, the title was White Privileged Male because this was a book that was from the point of view of a white privileged male. And then it seemed too jokey, and so we got rid of privileged male and we just called it white, which suggests neutrality, lack of bias, Zen thinking, which is what the book argues for. The book is really a collection of essays from my podcast, the Bret Easton Ellis podcast. I guess it's cultural critique, film critique, political critique, a story of where I began as a child and where I ended up in the summer of 2018. My favorite writer is Gustave Flaubert. The Sentimental Education and Madame Bovary are in my top 5 novels, and I do love the work of Michel Houellebecq. I would love there to be a great adaptation of The Great Gatsby. It's got such a great movie story and plot, and yet every time they screw it up, I hated the last one. It was awful. Oh my God. Isn't it the one where Nick Carraway is writing the whole book from an insane or a rehab? He gets clean at the end and he walks out and his triumph is that he wrote The Great Gatsby. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. I would offer either The Great Gatsby by Fitzgerald or Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion to see if we had anything in common. If they didn't like it, I'd be okay too, but I would just be interested. I love The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen, and I wished that I had written that book. We're somewhat of the same generation, and somehow he figured out how to do that particular book. Philip Roth makes me laugh a lot, and I would say 2 of the funniest books I've ever read are by him, Portnoy's Complaint and Sabbath Theater. I'm not really big on shame. There isn't a book that I'm ashamed to have read, not even 50 Shades of Grey. I'd go with Twain. I'd go with Huckleberry Finn. Very easy book to read, and very contemporary. It almost sounds like rap, hip-hop. I love The Naked and the Dead by Norman Mailer. I love The Beautiful and the Damned by Fitzgerald. There's so many good titles. I wish there were as many good books as there were good titles. I think differently at different times. I think right now, I really like Imperial Bedrooms, which was the last novel I published, which I hated when it came out. And now, for some reason, I love its simplicity. I love how spare it is. I love how there are so few words and it's so short. I would have to go back to the oldest. I mean, I can't look at the books without editing them. I want to edit them. Less Than Zero, I'm sure, is perfectly fine, but I open it up and I want to go, no, circle, get rid of that. So, as much as I hate to say it, I have problems with Less Than Zero right now. The Rules of Attraction by Roger Avery is the best adaptation of my book. Well, I guess by default, Patrick Bateman. I didn't know that he was going to be my most popular character, but in the end, because so many people respond to him, I guess I have to pat myself on the back.